Hi, everybody. We will give just a minute as everybody's coming in. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, everyone. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. Happy New Year. Can we still say Happy New Year? I think we can. I think it's January 4th. I feel like until
It's
the 6th.
there was an entire Curb Your Enthusiasm episode on this. If anyone is a big Curb Your Enthusiasm
I'm a
fan,
huge Curb enthusiast.
I think
I
it's
don't
like
remember
the
it.
most second to last season, but he has this entire episode on saying Happy New Year. And it's like you have to say it up until like the 5th of January or something like that. And like anytime after people that say Happy New Year after like the 8th, he like gets into a whole fight with. So
Okay, so I was right. So tomorrow, we'll keep saying it until then, next day, and then it's done. Larry David said so. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining today. We are going to be talking about getting off the wait list and really specifically like some tips and tricks on how to craft a stellar application. So you're joined today by myself, Henley Vasquez. I'm one of the co-founders of Fora and the most important woman in the room.
Hi, I'm Ali. I am head of membership. So I handle all of our advisor community and working with individuals to come into the Fora world.
She's the one you want to impress with your application. Okay, so just to start off, we wanted to go through a bit of an overview on what the travel advisor industry is. Because I know that for some people, I mean, obviously not you guys, you're here, but out in the great wider world, they say travel advisors are travel agents real? Like you guys still exist? It's actually one of the things I love about saying I'm a travel agent. Advisor is the word that the industry kind of likes. They've rebranded as advisors because it sounds a little bit more elevated. I go with travel agent just because people like kind of can't believe that we still exist at times. And then the next question is always like, can you help me book my trip? Yes, of course we can. But what is the industry? So one, it's actually quite a large industry. So we're booking lots and lots of travel. However, there are really not modern systems. So the systems, if you actually looked at the platforms such as Sabre, which is the ticketing and hotel booking system, the GDS, it's really going to look like something out of a 1980s sci-fi movie. So really difficult systems, not a lot of modern ways to book, or even to do something as simple as collect payment information from a client. And despite all that, there's a really high barrier to entry. Typically, the industry is only letting people join who are doing this full time. So full time, I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to pay a pretty high premium to spend thousands of dollars on a training session and like just hope that it all works out. So that's really the nuts of why we started Fora is we wanted to bring new people into the industry, expand our influence out there in the world. Travel agents should be out there known as the best way to book a trip and make it easier for people to join in, because if you don't know if you're going to be able to pay your bills by quitting your job, you may not be able to join this. So what do we do really is we help train and explain what are things like commissions, I add a number, all of the aspects of this industry that may sound like confusing lingo you don't know about. Because we want to be the modern travel agent, we really are overhauling those pain points. So barriers to entry down, except for that you got to get off this wait list. Technology, we're building it. We really want to give our advisors great tools and great technology to keep the human touch in it, but really to have humans focused on the good stuff, which is planning amazing vacations, and to have the training and the tools help support you along the way. Certification, that's your first set of training. There's an advisor portal, which is our tech platform where you can go in to find your marketing tools, find your trainings to watch asynchronously if you're working another job during the day and you want to do this at night, to access our community platform, which is where you're going to connect with your other advisors. Great way to find others that are in your area, to ask a question like, oh my gosh, what's the right place for this honeymoon client? And to log your commissions, track when your money's coming in, or get admin support. That's what the tools that we're building. We really want to help people do this in an easier way. And the trick is, how do you join up? So what makes a successful Fora advisor? Ali's going to go through some examples of how to craft really what's a generally successful application. But what's a successful advisor look like? Well, what you're seeing here is a shot from our second live forum, which happened here in New York City back in October. Live Forum is our conference where we bring together some of our favorite partners from the supplier side, our hoteliers, our cruise companies, our tour operators, with our advisors, so that we can all spend time together as a community, and we can learn about our partners more. So who are these people? They're connectors, they're networkers, naturally people who can go out, bring folks together, help sell a great trip. They're organized. This is a job where you need to be detail oriented. Are they full-time? Are they part-time? They're both. So they're actually looking for, some of them, for brand new careers. They are moms who are re-entering the workforce, or they are shifting out of a different kind of full-time job into travel advising full-time. Some of them are doing this part-time and doing it really, really well. Traditionally, the industry hasn't allowed that. We believe in it strongly. They are people who have opinions. So you'll hear about that from Ali. Being opinionated is really important. We want people who have strong opinions, research deeply, and are typically those go-to people for travel recommendations. So if you're thinking about this and going, oh my God, I research travel for fun, my friends are always asking me questions about travel, well, you might be one of us.
So for the application process, we want to see your personality shine through. We want to understand what's unique about you and what your passions for and interests are within travel. So using general things like I love to travel in your bio is not very helpful to me, so that I can't understand who you are. So I'd love to learn about your background and who you are and what you've done, and maybe who are your clients going to be, because that's one of the biggest things in this industry, is understanding how you're going to take your personal and professional network and turn that into your book of business. And then also tell us about trips that you've planned. I love to read and hear about that. And that also shows that you are already doing this type of work. So it's very helpful for me to see that. The next one is, there is a question around what are your 3 favorite hotels or travel partners? And when mentioning this, we love specificity. We are, what's the best word? Hotel snobs in that way, but in the best possible way. So when you write Hilton or Marriott or Hyatt, that's a little bit too general for us, because we want to see that you have an opinion on certain properties. What is the difference between why you like a Hilton versus a Hyatt, and which ones do you like? Just saying Four Seasons is a little bit more generic, but is there a certain type of boutique hotel in Paris that you love that's outside of the Four Seasons? So getting to know those granular details also helps demonstrate for us that you have an attention to detail, and you're also putting your own spin on it with your own unique travel taste. Last but not least, including a social media handle. So we want to get your fuller picture of your interests and backgrounds. One thing that I do want to mention, though, about this is you do not need to have a beautiful social media account, whether it's on Instagram or LinkedIn or Facebook, but more so just to understand your interests and background. We have plenty of advisors who actually don't show themselves as advisors, but they use their own brand. So slap on a couple of photos, make it a beautiful picture, and that actually does the job for most of them. So for us, those are the 3 key points that I would recommend when crafting a stellar application. Now we're going to go into the Q&A, because I know we have lots of conversations going on in the chat right now. So one of the questions is, do I need to come to this with clients already? Do you want to take the clients one? Because I actually love Henley's story.
I'm scooting over here. We're just going to go off with this one mic. There we go. You can see us both. So yes, your clients are your personal network. So I think what's important is to understand that if you don't know anybody that wants to travel and would book travel with you, this could be a little bit challenging to get started. But if you know just a few people, it balloons from there. So having just like your first 1 to 3 clients who are going to book a trip with you, those people are then going to book more trips. They're going to refer their friends, and you can kind of grow it from there. So I think most people have that within their network. We do give you the marketing tools to help build your business, social media assets that you can use. Once you hit our pro level of membership, we do have a leads program. But when you're just getting started and getting those first bookings in, those are going to be clients that you're generating from your own network.
Awesome. Another question of, do you accept advisors from outside of the US? So there's a couple of nuanced things with this. We do accept advisors outside of the US. One thing to note, and I'm sure we have a few people here in Canada, we are not Tyco certified as of yet. It is something that we are working on. But if you are an expat living in Canada, you would be able to work with Fora. If you are an expat outside, or even if you are based in Italy or South America, you can still join Fora. Just Canada is one of those really tricky ones that we're just not quite set up yet for. Another question around social media, and does it need to be public? So you preferably yes, but if you don't want to share your social media, then please share your LinkedIn. A question around the interview process. So this is great. So in terms of next steps and what it means once you've completed the application. We would then review your application and reach out and ask you a couple of questions around what would you do to launch your travel business. Additionally, we do have calls that we invite you to sit on, which will talk a lot more in depth around how to set you up for success. So it's things like what Henley mentioned, marketing support, technology, our training, our booking platform. All of those things that are going to help you be successful, we talk about so that you can really even ask more of these questions. Because let me tell you, once you start learning about this industry, you're going to have a lot of questions. That is okay. That is why we are here to help you as a host agency.
So I see a question around having already been with a host agency, which actually I don't think we defined earlier. So for people who are wondering, what does that mean? Host agency is what we are. So you need to join as an independent contractor, as a travel advisor. You need to be with a host agency, which are the people that handle the preferred partnerships, have the IATA number. We're the ones that sort of help you plug into the industry systems that exist. The question about having an LLC already and being with another host agency, can you be on the wait list? Absolutely. So go ahead and join. And actually, that's something to really mention in your application. I'm already an active travel advisor. This is where I'm working. This is what kinds of things I'm booking right now. That's going to help your application get noticed. You can't be with two host agencies at one time, or at least not with ours. So this is a monogamous relationship. So join our wait list, do your application, and then if you wanted to move over, then we can help explain how that process goes.
So question around the process of what can I expect from the training or in general after becoming an advisor? So we have an amazing certified training program that gives you all of the basics. So how to book, the variety of different travel partners, building that book of business with all of our marketing support that we give you, as well as understanding how to craft the best itinerary, use our client intake forms, understand the different ways to communicate to partners. So that training is all self-paced, but we then do have live workshops every single week that match those trainings so that you can bring them into a live version, which is all run by our Fora HQ staff.
I saw a question in the GDS, which I wanted to pull up. So there's a question about what GDS we're on. So we use Travelport. We have built our platform, which we just launched this fall, on top of Travelport. So you don't need to know how to use the GDS. Now, for people who aren't aware of what the GDS is, that's the global distribution system. That's the thing I mentioned that looks like the scene out of Tron. It's from the 80s. It's not modern at all. You have to actually like code in order to use it. We built our own platform that sits on top of the GDS. You can go in, search, book hotels, have them automatically logged into your bookings. You don't need to do any sort of invoicing, but that does sit on top of Travelport. So anything that's live in the GDS, all of our rate codes are in there. That gets pulled that way. And yes, you will get training on how to use the platform. Now, the bookings platform itself is like fairly explanatory. It's like anything else where you would go in online and search and book, but there's a lot more in our platform. And that's something that we go over in our advisor kickoff, as well as having office hours that you can come and ask questions, bookings, boot camps, other trainings, really lots of ways to support you as you're figuring out, okay, how do I use the vault, which is our way of payment collection that holds it securely for you? What is the best way to upload my clients into my MailChimp for doing my marketing materials? All of that, we're big on training here. So all of that is in there. So you can do anything from sort of actual training. You can just go and watch a quick tutorial to live office hours and trainings where you can be on with us to ask questions. I see another question too about being a tour operator in Tanzania and can you qualify to be a part of advisors? So this is sort of a tricky question. Can you be an advisor and work on the supplier side of the industry? Yes, you can. And we do see that. Somebody who's like, they're in the hotel side or they're in their tour operator side, but they're not who they're doing other jobs where they're helping their friends plan trips elsewhere. Totally fine. What we don't allow is people coming into the community and selling to each other. So you can't be a tour operator that's also trying to get the other advisors to book through your tour operator. And the reason for that isn't that we don't think that you're amazing. It's that we want to keep this as a collaborative community that's really there to support each other in the business of being travel advisors. And so we prevent people, or we ask people to not sort of use each other as a way to a marketing sort of opportunity for other businesses. Oh, I see one that I'd really, as a middle-aged woman in my 40s, that I'd really like to address. The question is, are you open to accepting older women who are experienced but seeing ageism in attempts to change careers? 100%. So one of the things that I always say I love so much about travel is this is an industry that has really been driven a lot by women for quite a long time. And that is one of the few places where, having taken time off for parenthood, having changed careers multiple times, having had a full career and wanting to start something as you're moving into sort of like a young retirement, but still wanting to work. This is not a place where anybody is mommy tracked or aged out. In fact, many of the most epic women in this industry tend to be the ones who've been doing this for decades. So somebody like Valerie Wilson, who is 80 years old and still dancing on tables at Virtuoso Travel Week. I think it's exciting to see a lot of new blood coming into this industry. But here at Fora, our quote unquote new blood ranges in age from like 25 to 65. So it is people who are just getting started in their careers, folks who are in the middle, again, many of them mothers who might have taken time off and are re-entering the workforce. That's great. You built a network. Come on back in. And then those who are sort of winding down their corporate jobs and thinking about what's my next step. So we really believe that people have value at every part of their life. And again, this is like from somebody who's no young chicken. I think that there's a lot of experience you've had in the rest of life. You've built up a network. You could be great at this.
Awesome. So we have a couple of questions on, do I have to promote people to become travel agents within Fora? Absolutely not. We do not require this at all. We are very selective as well in terms of who we let into the community. I know we had another question around that. So you are not required at all to have to bring in new people. But what is great though is you can nominate a friend if you wanted to. I have done actually that quite a bit because as I've continued to do this job, I've found that some of my other friends, even based in California, would actually be very good at this. So I can nominate them and they can still go through the same rigorous application process. They can speak with me, they can speak with my team and see if it's right for them as well. A question around, do you pay commissions in cash directly deposited or via a gift card? So the way that commissions work is that we pay out your commissions directly to your bank account, and that goes on a 2-week rolling basis after your client has checked out of their stay. A question around, is it best to already have some knowledge about traveling and research of hotels, places prior to joining Fora and becoming a Fora advisor? I would say a little bit goes a long way, but the best part is you have the community to support you. I actually have been planning about 3 different trips right now to the Northern Lights in Canada, to somewhere in Indonesia, and to Mexico City. I have not been to 3 of those locations, and yet I have used the community. I have sat on trainings. I have watched our destination trainings. I have continued to speak with others and learn about the destinations, which have manned me up for the ability to plan and book travel.
I'm going to weigh in on that too. I think, as somebody who's done this job for 20 years, so my entire career has been spent in travel. We can't possibly have gone all of the places in the world. So we really do rely on being great researchers, having the right partnerships, and having the right training to be able to do it. So do you need to be passionate about travel and travel research? Do you need to have some experience? Sure. Do you need to have been, to 100 countries? No, I haven't, and I'm really good at this. So that shouldn't be the thing that keeps you from doing it. If you're already helping especially, many of you are probably that kind of person where your friends are already asking you for tips. You're already spending a lot of time digging into stuff like you can do this too. There's always somebody in this community who can help you.
Awesome. So I'm going to actually jump to the next slide because we have a lot of questions around, I've filled out the application. What do I do? Why is there a wait list? How long does it take to come off? And that's kind of going to round out the rest of the call until we jump off. So in terms of the Fora experience, we talked a lot just now about what it looks like. So I want to just kind of touch on a few things about what it means to be a Fora advisor. So you are going to be able to earn money by booking hotel and different types of travel. So whether it's cruises, destination management companies, tour operators, car rental companies, and even travel insurance. And when you do that, you're actually able to hook up your clients with hotel perks along the way. And then the best part is you get to be your own boss and you get to work from wherever you want while you are joining a community of travel pros and insiders, whether it's online or we are doing a lot more off Zoom. And we give you everything you need to build that dream job in travel. So to launch and to join with Fora, just so that everyone is aware, when resubmitting their application, we do have a membership fee. So everything that we give you, the marketing support, the training, the tooling, the access to the GDS and to our booking platform is all included in this membership fee. There is no gotcha moments in terms of, oh, you want to take advanced certification, it's going to cost you $500. That is not the case. So on an annual plan, we do have it's $299. We also have a monthly plan though, and it's great to test it out and see if it works for you. So it's $49 a month. And once you realize that it is right for you, you're actually able to move it from monthly to annual. I hope this was super helpful. You can always email us at hi@foratravel.com as well. And we really look forward to speaking with you and helping you become the best type of travel advisor.
All right. Thanks, everybody.